I mean, let's give it to Lucinda. Doesn't she look great in her beige? Hey, Renee. Oh my God, okay. Well, the title of my session is, Are You That Bitch? Now, look, I realize that inflection is important, right, in language, because when you put inflection in a certain place, it changes the meaning of a question or a statement, right? We know that. So sometimes you can say, are you that bitch? Or you can say, are you that bitch? In this case, I'm putting a little frown on it. Are you that bitch? Because I find that we are at a critical place in our corporate, organizational, and societal atmosphere. We got a lot of bitches running around, and we've got to fix it. So yes, I realize that even though we are in a place where we want to talk about how to be better because of the knowledge that we gain, the information that we'll gather, the connections we'll make in this room, I want to take a minute, as Lucinda said, to make us a little bit uncomfortable, to look inward, and to look next to you with a side eye. Because right now, in our corporate and organizational spaces, we need to find the power to keep moving forward, right? But we can't do it if we're bitches. Now, I'm not talking in the way that you might think that I would, right? Let's just take a look at some of the numbers. US News and World Report says that women hold 47.4% of the American workforce, okay? We're about half. So you know that obviously men make up the other percentage, yes? Okay. Now, for executive ranks, we recognize that we're at about a third of executive ranks. Women hold like 31% or something, which then means that men hold up a whole lot, right? So the disparity already begins, and we recognize that, we know that. But sometimes we don't say that we also understand that it means that instead of competing with men, we start competing with women. Yes, some of us are nodding. We recognize that. We start competing with women because we start to feel that there's only room for a few of us. So therefore, why compete with the men? When you just compete with the women because there's only going to be one other woman in there. If there's a third of executive offices that are held by women, then yes, we compete with each other, which is problematic. And that's where the bitches show up, okay? So now we know that it's unfair. We've been set up unfairly. But there are also some nuances within the competition. It's not just like, oh, we're women competing against women, because I'm going to point some things out to you. Sometimes it means that women with tenure are unfairly bitches to women without tenure. Some of us have felt that, right? Because sometimes what that means is that somebody would say, oh, well, she needs to pay her dues. And then they're going to treat you a certain way until you earn those dues. And who's to say when the dues are owed up anyway? Or when it's completed? We don't even know what that is. And now, look, I'm going to say something else. I want everybody to just take a deep breath. Sometimes it's the white girls against the black girls. Somebody said, oh yeah. I have felt that myself. Now, that can be a challenge because it's not even just, then about tenure. We get into all kinds of other issues, right? Around bias, racism, but we're all here trying to be feminists, trying to uphold each other, trying to help each other out. But then what happens is that we find ourselves along lines that are not new lines. These have existed for a long time. Systems have been set up to make us divided for a long time. And so I'm asking that we figure out what it means when we're in the workplace to really empower each other. So are you that bitch is the question I'm asking you. Are you that bitch that is holding us back? Are you that bitch who has tenure, who's looking at somebody else who doesn't have tenure and saying, oh, you know what? It's fine. She's gonna pay her dues, and I'm gonna make sure she pays them. Are you that white bitch who makes the black bitches feel bad? Or the other way around? And perhaps you're thinking, oh no, everything is fine. I'm fine. It's not me. So we're gonna take a little poll, okay? I need y'all to be honest now. Okay, we need the instructions of the poll. That's what you're gonna do. You're gonna pull out your phones, okay? You've joined the Yahoo event session makers, right? Have you joined that? Some of you have, some of you have not. You need to join it by going to this, guys, I can't see that, y'all. It's 22333, is that what that says? Yeah. Okay, okay, well, y'all can see better than me, fantastic, and I'm up here. Okay, so now I'm gonna go, have you done that? Are you ready? Okay, we're gonna start here. The first question, do you know a bitch? Yes or no? How do we respond? That's a good question for somebody else, not me. How about we do, is there a 1 or a 2? Maybe 1 for yes? Oh, somebody figured it out. They're A for yes, B for no. Okay, that's how you respond. You type A to the number 2233 or B. So do you know a bitch? Overwhelmingly. Do you see this? Overwhelmingly, we know them. 98% of us know them. Do you agree with this? Because y'all said it, not me. Okay, we see 98%. All right, let's go to the next question. Are you a bitch? Okay, A for yes, B for no. Remember, you're texting to 22333. Oh, I see. Wait, hold on. The number keeps changing because these poll results are coming in. So let me get this straight. Oh, it keeps changing. Okay, because more votes are coming in. Y'all answer honestly and truthfully now. So let me get this right. 98% of us know a bitch. Does anybody see the disparity that's going on here? Y'all know bitches, but you don't think you're a bitch. So then who's the bitch? I see you out here. Somebody is lying, okay? So then let's get into it, okay? My first question for you is, how do you know you're a bitch? Because clearly y'all don't know. The results of the poll have told us that. Now, by the way, if it had come back like 98% of you said you were bitches, then I'd have nothing more to say. But clearly y'all are unaware. So let me tell you how you know if you're a bitch, okay? Now, we start out with, thinking through, it's like, hey, look, are you a woman with tenure who is gatekeeping on somebody else who does not have tenure? I want you to think honestly about yourself, okay? No more polls, so don't be afraid. I'm not gonna ask you to raise your hand or confess to your neighbor, but I want you to consider, are you gatekeeping in any way? When you go into a meeting, are you asking unfair questions of women on your team? Or perhaps who have less tenure than you? You're not in charge of the meeting, but hell, you want to point out a matter of fact. Are you doing that? Are you gatekeeping in a way that keeps women who don't have the experience that you do from rising into their opportunity? On the tail end of that, are you empowering other women? So you know what, look, I know we've had a lot of conversations, there are a lot of workshops around this and how to empower each other, et cetera, but I want you to really consider, what does empower mean? Empowering means that you're actually also giving power to someone else. Oftentimes in our spaces in which we operate, it is hard for two people to hold the power at the same time, right? Okay, again, this is an honest conversation, We like to say, it's like, look, if we can, we can all shine together. I have a little bit of an argument with that. We can't all shine together, okay? Sometimes you gotta let somebody else shine. Sometimes you have to step out of the spotlight so somebody else can be seen. Are you actively doing that? Are you stepping out of the spotlight so that bitch can be seen? If you are not, because you feel like you're helping somebody by sharing the spotlight, well, sis, I have a little enlightened moment for you. You're probably casting a little bit of a shadow, is what you're doing. And if you have more tenure than somebody else, when you're ahead of them and you're also in the spotlight, guess what happens? Nobody can see her. So that means you actually do have to step out of the way. Now, again, I know that's kind of scary because, of course, we're all working so hard. We've all been taught to get ahead, to be ambitious, to speak up, to be loud, to make sure that you say your opinion, make sure you're known in the room, somebody sees you. And if you don't do that, you're afraid that the position, the moment, the power goes to a man, right? That's what we've been taught. That's what they tell us. But I'm asking you that instead of considering that that's where the issue is, consider who's sitting next to you, the other woman next to you, who you need to empower, because nobody else is going to do it. It's really up to us. So are you doing that? I'd also like you to consider that sometimes empowerment also means encouragement. That's not just like, oh, you can see that, she has it together and you're going to help the spotlight get on her. But no, perhaps she actually needs your help to get to the point where she can actually be in the spotlight. And yes, I know I keep talking about, the tenure versus not, but sometimes that's also somebody who's sitting next to you. Or maybe that's somebody who has more tenure than you. But you see that they don't have the spotlight, and therefore, how can you help? How can you make your boss shine better and brighter? Because perhaps in doing that, your turn will also come. But empowerment, for those of us who think it's just about sharing the spotlight, I'm asking you to consider that sometimes it means stepping out of it so somebody else can do it. Now, here's another tough one. You remember that slogan? I thought it was a brilliant marketing slogan. It was like, see something, say something. Have you heard that before? When you see a beach, call out a bitch. See something, say something. I would like you to pull her aside and do it in a loving way. And be like, look, you're a bitch. I'm gonna help you, okay? I just went to Maker's Women, and Boz told me, when I see a bitch, I gotta say it as bitch. Because honestly, I think also what happens to us is that we're so forced to drive. And look, I acknowledge sometimes you have a bad day, okay? But we're so forced to drive that it becomes difficult in situations where you don't even recognize that you're not being as helpful as you could be, that you're not being as empowering as you could be. And so how can we do that in a loving way, okay? Loving, y'all. Because you don't want to be that bitch. So in a loving way, how do you encourage the correction of behavior, the correction of attitude, to make sure that we're actually embracing each other, helping each other, supporting each other to help us move forward? Because I really do feel that there is a movement that is happening, a change of guard, where yes, I would agree that 20 years ago, it was about how do we just blaze, strike everything down. Look, I'm not called a badass on accident, okay? I'm a recovering bitch too. The thing is that we have to recognize in ourselves when we are not being helpful, when we're not empowering, so that we can help us all move forward. In that way, we will have a new movement arise, which is more about us being empowering in the workplace, which is more about us giving the spotlight and not just sharing it, because we recognize that sometimes that causes shadow. And just like we have, BC and AD, again, y'all recognize this, right? You know what it is. That's how we mark time. I would like us to have a new time. Embark right now. This is before bitches and after bitches. Y'all agree? Okay, we're gonna take an oath together because they told me I couldn't talk about bitches for too long. You see, I'm being yanked off already, but it's okay. We're gonna do an oath, okay? Yes, you're gonna put your hand on your heart because we're gonna do it from a loving place. All of us can do it. I solemnly swear. No, we're going to do it again because you have to be loud about it, okay? I solemnly swear. To help empower women. I solemnly swear. Not to be that bitch. Amen. Thank you very much.